And when you allow all of that, you create a foundation that's real. It's not performative. It is real. Because growth rooted in truth, it lasts. But growth that is built on avoidance, it crumbles. So honor your feelings because it's the rain that helps your soul bloom. I'm Sandy Rose, and this is The Restorative Space, where body, mind, and spirit meet in truth. From tension to tenderness, we explore how to heal, feel, and return home to ourselves. Welcome, and thank you so much for joining me today. As a quick reminder, you can always find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, as well as other platforms. Just look for The Restorative Space and we'll be right there. Today's episode is wrapping up on our permission series. If you've been tuning in with me for the month of October, we've gone through giving ourselves permission. Permission to heal, permission to feel, permission to set boundaries. And then what happens next, you ask? Well, what happens next is growth. You grow, you become, you move forward after you learn how to heal, feel, and set boundaries. And before we get started, as usual, we're going to do a little breath work. I like to call it the 3, 3, and 3. Here's what that looks like. We will inhale for 3 seconds. We will hold for 3 seconds. And we will exhale for 3 seconds. Keep in mind that as you're inhaling peace. During the hold, you are holding space for yourself to grow. And as you're exhaling, you are exhaling worry, doubt, and anything that is holding you back. All right, let's begin. Inhale and exhale. One more time. Inhale and exhale. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Come on in. Have a seat. Let's have a chat. I'm so happy to be here. Not just here in this podcast, having this conversation with you, but here in this growth journey, on this growth journey with myself and with you. We're going to take this in a few different segments, just like I've done in the last couple of episodes. If it feels a little too deep, we'll pause. We'll take a few breaths and then we'll keep going. And I encourage you to do that in your daily walk whenever it gets a little too heavy, it gets a little too deep. Pause, take a few breaths, feel better, and then keep moving. We're going to start talking about growth where it meets healing. Because growth often starts in the same soil that once broke you. And I know that sometimes we feel like this pain will never end, but it does. And when it starts to heal and when you start to feel, then we're going to start growing. And when we give ourselves permission, we give ourselves permission to stop hiding from the pain. And we start remembering exactly who we are. And we start learning a new way of doing things. Growth is what happens. You've probably noticed after a season of healing, you begin to crave more. You crave more joy, more peace, more alignment. Well, that's your soul saying that it's time. Now, I do understand that growth can be uncomfortable because it asks for you to expand where comfort used to live. And once we get comfortable, we like to sit right there because it's warm and it's cozy. But it's time to keep going. It means shedding old stories, old relationships, and sometimes even old identities that don't fit anymore. It's like pruning a plant, right? You cut away all the dark spots and you cut away the part of the plant that no longer serves so the roots can strengthen. So, yes, it's painful. I want you to ask yourself right now, what have I outgrown but keep watering out of habit? You may just want to sit in that thought for a few minutes, or you may even want to write that down and think about it and come back to it later. What have I outgrown but keep watering out of habit? Because sometimes the thing that you're clinging on to is the thing that's keeping you small. It's keeping you from moving forward. So in episode 2, we talked about permission to feel. And to grow, you must stay connected to that emotional truth. Feeling is your feedback system. It tells you when you're aligned and when you're betraying yourself, which means that growth doesn't happen in denial. It happens when we feel fully and we still choose to move forward. Sometimes that may look like crying in your car after a hard day and then showing up again tomorrow. Sometimes it's grieving who you used to be. Remember, I talked about grieving is not always about losing a loved one or ending a relationship. You may be grieving who you used to be while blessing that version for getting you this far. Thank him, thank her for getting you this far. So many people want growth without the grief process. But real transformation asks us to let go of the old so we can make space for the new. Allow your emotions to teach you. Allow them to teach you because sometimes when you're sad, it actually saying that something mattered. That's the reason why you're sad. Or if you're angry, somebody crossed the line. There's that boundary thing again, right? If you get angry because someone has crossed the line, it's time to set a new boundary. And then you meet up with joy. And joy says, this is who I am. And this is who I'm going to be. And I'm okay with that. And when you allow all of that, you create a foundation that's real. It's not performative. It is real. Because growth rooted in truth, it lasts. But growth that is built on avoidance, it crumbles. So honor your feelings. Honor your feelings. Because it's the rain that helps your soul bloom. Just like that pruned plant, it helps you bloom and it helps you grow. All right, well, let's talk about how boundaries allow structure for growth. Okay, so you can't grow without boundaries. At least you can't grow freely without boundaries, that's for sure. So think of boundaries as the trellis that supports the plant. Without structure, the vine collapses, right? You have to, sometimes when that vine starts to go up, of course, it's going to lean over. And you need something stable there to help it stand tall and be beautiful. So just like in the permission to set boundaries episode, we learned that boundaries aren't about pushing people away. They're about keeping our energy sacred, right? Well, growth needs that protection. As you rise, not everyone will understand or support the version of you that no longer tolerates chaos. You actually may lose access to people, or better yet, they may lose access to you because those people only knew you through your pain. You might disappoint those who were comfortable with your silence or with your lack of boundaries. But your job is not to stay small for their comfort. Your job is to stay grounded in your peace. That's what it's about. It's about growing into your peace. So let this be your affirmation, okay? I can love you, but still choose me. Or better yet, let's take the but out of it because but is usually followed by something negative. So I can love you and still choose me. Because guess what? You are allowed to change. You're allowed to take up space. You don't have to play small. Take up some space. You're allowed to require more from yourself and from those around you. I don't care how the relationship started. You are allowed to require more. You're allowed to require more because remember, boundaries don't limit growth, they just sustain it. They ensure that what's blooming in you doesn't get trampled by what no longer belongs. Now, sometimes with growth comes growing pain. So let's be real, okay? Let's be real. Growth isn't all about sunlight and affirmations. Sometimes it can be confusing and it can cause confusion. Sometimes it's loneliness. It feels like starting over. There are seasons where you'll outgrow people, habits, even dreams that once defined you. You might feel guilty for evolving and leaving others behind. You may feel guilty for not fitting into the version of yourself that others expect anymore. But please remember that growth is not betrayal, it's evolution. You're not abandoning the old you. You're honoring her, you're honoring him by becoming everything that you prayed for. Whew, yes, everything that you've prayed for. As you're growing, you're walking towards it, you're walking into it, which means that those growing pains are sacred. They stretch your spirit, they strengthen your faith, and they deepen your roots. But listen, the key is to not rush the process, to not cause more chaos for yourself. As a matter of fact, enjoy the process of getting to truth, of getting to you. Enjoy it. Enjoy it in times where there's just quiet work. Enjoy those moments when you choose rest over chaos. When you choose to forgive without reopening the wound. And when you are finally able to say, you know what, I'm proud of me. I am proud of me, even if no one else claps for me. Bravo. I'm going to clap for myself. And honey, that's where true transformation happens. Congratulations, you have arrived. All right, let's pause for a moment. We are going to do our 3, 3, and 3 one time before we keep moving forward. We're going to take a breath in, hold, then release. Let's begin. Inhale and exhale. All right, let's keep going. The practice of becoming. So, growth is not a destination, okay? It's a daily practice. It's a daily practice. You don't just arrive at healing. But what you do is you become more aligned, more aware, more anchored, one decision at a time. So I want you to do something for me. I want you to ask yourself and keep these with you, even if you're unable to answer this at the moment. Once you get started on this journey, there are going to be a few stopping points. And I want you to ask yourself, what am I learning right now? What am I nurturing in this season? And here's a big one. Who am I becoming when no one is watching? Because it's not about performing. Remember that. It's not about doing things for people to show them, hey, look at me, I'm growing. I'm a different person. It's about becoming who you are, whether someone notices it or not. You will notice it. You will notice it. Maybe you'll learn how to speak up. Maybe you'll finally rest without guilt. Or maybe you will allow yourself to be loved differently, even if it's just from you. So right now, you don't have to have it all figured out. You just have to keep choosing yourself in small, consistent ways. And remember, you're doing a lot better than you may think. Because sometimes, we're hard on ourselves before anyone else is hard on us. So I want you to replace perfection with presence, because that's where your peace lives. So let's close our eyes and take a moment to give yourself full permission to grow, to change, to rise up. And I want you to repeat after me. I am allowed to evolve. I release who I was to make space for who I'm becoming. I give myself permission to grow without guilt. My growth inspires others to grow too. Now let those words settle deep in your spirit. And I'm going to repeat it one more time as you are breathing. Breathe in that peace. I am allowed to evolve. I release who I was to make space for who I'm becoming. I give myself permission to grow without guilt. My growth inspires others to grow too. How does that feel? How does it feel to know that you are becoming something beautiful, something brave? You are walking in alignment with the healed, grounded version of you that your younger self needed. Bravo. Bravo, you are here. We have been learning how to heal. It's okay. Give yourself permission. We have been learning how to feel all these feelings and emotions. It's okay. Give yourself permission. We have been learning how to set boundaries and stand firm. It's okay. Give yourself permission. And now you're growing. Ah, now we are growing. Stay in that. Stay in that growth space. Stay on this journey. You can do it. You can do it. I want to thank you for joining me for the Permission series here in the restorative space. Thank you so much. This isn't the end of your journey, of our journey together. It's just a continuation of your becoming. And if this series has spoken to you, share it with someone else who's ready to step into their next season with grace. And just remember that healing is not linear. It moves. Growth is not rushed. Take your time. And peace, baby, is not negotiable. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. I appreciate you. I'm Sandy Rose, and this is the Restorative Space. And I am so happy to be sharing this with you. Hey guys, Sandy Rose here with the Restorative Space. I wanted to come on really quickly just to say thank you so much for joining me in the month of October with the Permission series. We learned how to heal, feel, set boundaries, and grow. And we did it all together. I learned a lot. I hope that you learned a lot. I, for one, would like to keep this journey going. What about you? Well, if you feel the same way, there is a guidebook that has been created. It can be found at cbusrestorativemassage.com. Just follow the Restorative Space podcast link, and you can download that free PDF guide. You can print it out. You can keep it. You can use it, and you can stay on this journey of permission. All right, guys. See you in the month of November. Well, we'll be talking about self-care. I had a great time. I hope that you did too. Don't forget to find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, and other platforms. Just look for the Restorative Space, and we'll be right there. Thank you.